Hello everybody, I'm Richard Gon of Work to Live podcast version. So this time, what I'd like to talk about is learn pronunciations from natives, learn how to learn from non-natives, about which I'd like to tell you stories. So in this time, the stuff or what I'm going to talk about is learning foreign languages or learning things other than learning foreign languages. So I don't have to tell you. Well, I do not have to confirm this, but maybe most of you or all of you, study English, which I think is a fact all over the world. But actually, so I don't know. No, I don't know whether your teachers are native speakers of English language or not. So some teachers are native speakers of English language, but I mean, some teachers teaching English language are native speakers of English language, but there are some teachers who are not native speakers of English language, but who teach English language as their occupations. So, if, for example, maybe, so if you are, I don't know how, which age you start learning English in your country. So you know, in this case, so I'm sorry, but I'm sorry. So I have to apologize for this, but so most listeners of my podcast are native speakers of English language who live in the United States of America. Which, so you know, so you know, I use Anchor as you have listened to as you have listened in the beginning of this episode, but so. You know, according to Anchor, and Anchor according to Anchor, which shows the demographics data, like so which country accounts for the entire listeners. Such a graph is shown on the page or on the tab of Anchor. So by looking at which, so according to that stuff shown on Anchor, so the majority of the listeners of my podcast are American people or people in United States of America. So which is a fact in my case. And so, but you know, of course, you know. So there are some non-native listeners non-native listeners of English language. For example, so roughly saying, there are some people who live in European countries. So from developed European countries and to developing European countries. So anyway, such people study English as their foreign languages. So I don't know from which age they start learning English, but actually they have experienced processes of learning foreign languages, and so you know they study foreign languages in schools in most cases, and some schools have non-native teachers of English language who teach English language in schools, which is the case even in my country. So I live in the country I live in is an Asian country, but actually I have studied English language. I have studied English language in this country. So in that at that time, some teachers are non-native. Some teachers are non-native speakers of English language, and those non-native teachers are Japanese teachers with Japanese nationalities who maybe have grown up in this country. Anyway, so I by the way, I live in Japan. So what was I trying to speak out? So yeah, so learn learn pronunciations from native speakers and learn how to learn from non-natives from which is the title of this episode. So anyway, the conclusion is you should distinguish usages of education materials or learning foreign languages, or you should distinguish how to use or the ways to use education materials for learning foreign languages, which is the conclusion of this episode. So as title says, so I recommend you learning, for example, so if you learn English, which is a fact. So I recommend you learning English pronunciation from native speakers of English language. So of course, in this case, the most not the most expectable, but the most recommendable pronunciations are English or British pronunciation from England, or American pronunciations from for example New York or Washington DC. So this is that if you want to acquire native pronunciations of English language, you should keep listening to standard pronunciations of English language, which is what I recommend you are doing. And but however, so maybe if this is even a native speaker of English language can understand, but you do not use your mother tongue correctly, or how should I say? So this is the case to at least my mother tongue, but I think most people, or all the people who use human languages do not use their mother tongues grammatically correctly, which means, so yeah, if you when you speak out your mother tongue, there are a lot of grammatical mistakes, which I think is true to all of you, or each of you, like which, so when it comes to the correct usages, or when it comes to the correct manners to use languages, you should how should I say, you should collect some education materials from smart non-native speakers of English language. So for example, how should I say, so according to the internet, it is said that Nordic people, German people, and people whose mother tongues are Germanic languages can understand English to a high extent, or to a high level, or to high levels. So let me tell you again. So there are a lot of grammatical mistakes in what I have just said. So Nordic people and Nordic people, German people, or Dutch people, and those people speak Germanic languages as their own mother tongues, and in their case, they can fairly speak out. Not they can fairly. They can speak out correct English, or the English languages they speak, such non-native speakers speak out are correct, or are correct in most cases, because their mother tongues are Germanic languages, which are different from Romance languages like French language, Spanish language, and Portuguese language. So concerning such a fact, so if you'd like to know how to study English language, I recommend you referring to, or I recommend you using some education materials or using some videos on YouTube created or broadcast by non-native speakers of English language. So truth is, some non-native speakers upload their own videos capturing themselves in which they speak out English language, though English is not their mother tongue. But actually, but you can still understand what they speak out. So because their mother tongues are Germanic languages. I have seen some videos in which those non-native speakers of English language speak out really great English language. Well, they have. So from the English language they have spoken out. From the English language they had spoken out. I could understand that they had really high proficiencies of English language. So when it comes to listening to Scottish pronunciations of native speakers, for example, so of course you can understand and you can acquire Scottish pronunciations of English language, but actually, so so even the perspective of native speakers of English language, so even the perspectives of native speakers of English language, Scottish pronunciation and Irish pronunciation are different. Are largely different from the standard pronunciation of English language, which is what I have heard from an English teacher. So that English teacher is an Asian English teacher who is an Asian American. So which is why he or she is a native speaker of English language. But according to that Asian American person, so according to the perspective of that Asian American person, so Scottish English and Irish English are really different from what the teacher thinks standard English, or anyway what the teacher said was, so Scottish pronunciation and Irish pronunciation are Scottish pronunciations and Irish pronunciations are different from standard English of the United States of America and Great Britain, which is what the teacher said. So like which, so as I told you in the part of conclusion, so you should distinguish the usages of education materials, including videos uploaded on YouTube, or including videos uploaded online. So you can use any materials. So of course, I recommend you using podcast for studying English. But so I how should I say? So I don't recommend you are using this podcast for studying the English language, because so because I'm a non as you hear, I'm a non-native speaker of English language. But so if you'd like to know how to learn English language, so I recommend you using using podcast if you'd like to use podcast for studying English language to acquire how to learn English, or how to study English language, which is what I like you to know this time. So coming back to the original topic of this episode, so the title is Learn Pronunciations from Natives. Learn how to learn from non-natives. So this is not limited, or this is not applicable exclusively to English language, which means the title is the case to other languages. So if you'd like to learn Chinese pronunciations, so it's alright. So the best way is, if you'd like to learn Chinese pronunciations, the best way is to use education materials of like podcasts and movies or videos, capturing native speakers of Chinese language, speaking Mandarin Chinese. But if you'd like to learn how to acquire Chinese language, I recommend you are using education materials created or uploaded by non-native speakers of Chinese language. So if you are thinking of choosing which education materials to learn how to learn foreign languages, so I recommend you are using education materials created by people who use similar mother tongue natively as to you, which means, so in the, for example, so if you use Romance language, or if you are native speaker of French language, for example, so good materials to how to learn English language are Spanish ones or Portuguese ones, which is what I'd like you to understand. So if you'd like to learn how to learn English language, so recommendable education materials are, for example, episodes of podcast or videos of YouTube, capturing people's whose mother tongues are French language, Spanish language, and Portuguese language. If you are a native speaker of French language or Spanish language or Portuguese language or other Romance languages, which is like which you should choose. So you should choose the education materials of non-native speakers whose mother tongue is really close to yours, which is also what I'd like you to know. So that's it. Thank you very much for your listening. See you.